Hey folks, welcome back. It's week 12, and I want to thank you for your patience this weekend while I was a little bit out of touch. We don't have anything outstanding to be graded at the beginning of this week, but you guys are turning in 2 assignments this week, the discussion board and the journal, the 5th journal. So let me just take a quick glance at what's going on this week with you to make sure we're all on the same page. We are getting down to the very end here. So there's some stuff going on with your leadership projects, the paper and the presentation. And then, of course, we're continuing we've got one more module from the leadership curriculum to come while you're finishing up those bigger major projects. So in terms of the due dates and all of that stuff, if we look, take a look at the list on the syllabus, we're in week 8 right now. So like I said, you're going to finish up unit 8, or we're in week 12, you're going to finish up unit 8. And the rough draft of the research paper is due at the end of this week as well. So once I get the rough drafts, I will take a look at those. I will give you some feedback, and then you will have until the end of week 14 to turn in the final version of that paper. So they won't be super intense sets of feedback. I will not, mark every grammatical mistake, but I will let you know if there's something that you need to work on and get those ready for the final version. So that's what's happening this week, Journal 5, and then you should be responding to 2 other students on discussion board 7, but that due date was set wrong. It really should have been due on the 6th, and a lot of people did do it, but it was incorrect in there. So I will not count anything late, obviously, but you will not only need to do your own response, but don't forget to respond to your fellow students as well. So next week, then, the only thing we'll be doing in terms of new content is to cover Unit 10 in the Phi Theta Kappa curriculum, which is empowerment, empowering others. And then the presentations, you'll be working on those. As far as the presentations, it's essentially the same exact content as the paper, and you'll turn in the PowerPoint by the end of week 14, and then the video presentations are due in week 15. Now, I will set up sometimes that final week for presentations to be done by Zoom. If you want to do it in person, well, in person is a strong term, but over Zoom. But if you want to go ahead and complete the video and everything, please feel free to do that. There's a lot of helpful content in the course to get you going with that. So let's go ahead and look at the modules, and I'm going to turn on the student view just because it makes it easier to follow, because it'll look more like you see it. So this is the last week of week 12, or week 12, module 5. And as it says here, there are 3 things due. If you need a little extra time on something, let's try not to make it the research paper rough draft, because I want to get you guys the feedback so that you can have the turnaround time on that. But anyway, in the following unit, I want to show you there's some additional materials on presentations. So if you are wanting to get started on your presentations, feel free to go ahead and look ahead at the next unit. There's a video to watch and things of that nature. So if you wanted to go ahead and look at that, you certainly can. Then in the following week, let me see if let me go back here for 1 second. Let me see. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I've got some additional materials that I've built recently on how to video and upload presentations to the course. So I will probably put that in an announcement In fact, I may go ahead and put it with this particular announcement so that those of you who want to get going on that can. Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing weird symbols and I'm like, I don't know what those mean, but it means that they're because my sample student has not turned in their work. They're so bad. Anyway, so the only things really to do this week should be the journal entry, the final journal entry or second final journal entry on guiding through conflict, and then the leadership profile research paper draft. I want you to basically pretend that this is the final version. But I will give you feedback and that will give you some time to make some changes. If you want to look at specifically at the assignment for the research paper, that is a little bit lower. You can click on this and it will give you the more full description of what you're doing. But we've talked about this because you guys have done your previous pieces. So I'll be giving you some feedback on the last one that you turned in this week and then feedback next week on the draft. So we should be in a good spot by then. And then really the content is the same for the paper and the presentation. How you put it on a PowerPoint and how you present it. You don't want to just read the paper to us, but essentially you're going to be using the same research and the same content. It will give you a chance to maybe include more photos and things like that of your person. You could even maybe find some video clips that you wanted to put in the presentation. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But if you want to go ahead and get started thinking about it, that's what you're doing with that presentation. So as usual, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I am available and I'm not going to Disney World this week. So hopefully the hurricane will miss us and all will be well. So everybody take care. Have a great week 12.